Welcome to the Online Success Journey Podcast, your opportunity to discover and learn from entrepreneurs like yourself. This is not your typical podcast, but a place where you can get the real story and find out how real people encounter speed bumps and detours, but journey through to find success. Now here's your host for the Online Success Journey Podcast, Patience.
Hello everyone and welcome to Online Success Journey. This is episode 119. Are you ready to join the clan? Today we have Jennifer Hardie, a digital marketer, business strategist and empowerment coach, speaker, designer and a mentor. Jen has built several businesses on and offline and the CEO of women's advertising platform and finished designing her first womenswear collection. Jen's mission is to serve 1 million women around the globe who are ready to step into their greatness. Hello, Jen.
Hi, thank you so much for such a lovely introduction. So lovely to be on today.
Thank you for coming. I know the clan here is anxious to hear your story, so let's get started with the basics. Can you tell my clan a little bit about your background, about what you did before you started your own online business?
Yeah, of course. I actually started my entire career in musical theatre. So I was a theatre artist. I lived down in London and I came back home and got stuck into learning everything that I could about theatre, dance, drama and singing. And when I was about 21 though, I fell pregnant with my son, Joshua. So obviously quite young, but had to really learn very quickly how I could make some sort of life or some sort of living out of the skills that I had, which were dance, drama and music. So I decided very, very quickly to open up a theatre school. I had no business background whatsoever. I had no idea where to start except from hiring a hall. I got a little CD system and I advertised on Facebook. Actually, that's what I used. And very, very quickly, I went from having 3 students, including my son, actually, and growing that business to a couple of hundreds of children in the space of just a year and a half. So it was an incredible eye-opener for me that what can be achieved. Obviously, when it was the theatre schools, it was very much based on the fact that I just adored teaching. So business strategy wise, I wasn't on top at all. I was given free classes. I wasn't really in charge of the financial side of things the way that you have to be when you're a business owner. I treated it more like a hobby. And that really was to my detriment after a while. I started working far too much actually, and fell pregnant with my daughter, and I was in a position where I had to bring in people to take the classes for me. And of course, because I wasn't running it like a proper business, I was just kind of using it as a hobby and being able to share my skills and my talents with young people. Suddenly started to see, oh my goodness, the structure for this business that I've tried to build is not there. So of course, very quickly, I had to learn how to structure a proper business, which I did. I went away and did so much research. I spoke to so many business owners. I went locally to some of the incredible associations that we have around us, which teach proper business structure, and learned very, very quickly all of the mistakes I had made. So it wasn't a failure as such, but it was certainly a massive learning curve for me. That was when I was in my 20s. Mid-20s, early to mid-20s. So I have learned so much just from that. And then, of course, I went on to find, what my true passions were. And as opposed to not just teaching, but or not just teaching children, but also teaching adults too, I realised that I had a real passion for wanting to empower women and take women forward as well. And I didn't really know what that looked like at the time, but I was hell-bent on doing it. And I started my own network marketing business at first. I don't know if you have a background or know about network marketing, but it's all about teamwork and bringing people on board and building a team and helping them also build something stable for themselves too. So that was incredible. Again, it gave me so much skill because network marketers have to kind of do everything. They have to photograph their products, they have to sell, they have to work on social media. And that really was the beginning of the inspiration behind the digital marketing that I do now. We built an incredible platform called That's My Crown to begin with, which is a women's platform where they can come and talk about their business for free, share their business ideas and get some motivation and get some inspiration also. But it's just free. And anyone that wants to ever share on that, you're more than welcome to. And then really I thought, okay, so how can I take this forward and how can I actually have more of a one-to-one relationship with these incredible women? And I used all my skills. I hired a coach actually as well to learn more about the digital marketing world and what is achievable. And of course, the reach globally is just incredible when you're online. So got really excited about that and decided to build my own program. And at this moment in time, we have so many amazing women going through that program and making themselves visible online and working towards a 6 and 7 figure business for themselves. So I feel as if I've found my heart's calling massively. And I'm really excited about where everything's going in the future too, for myself and for Unstoppable. That's what we call the women's community that I look after, Unstoppable.
Wow, what a journey, Jen. Wow, and on top of that, you have 2 young kids. And how are you doing this? How did you manage to do all this? Are you a superwoman?
I wish. I've actually got 3 kids. My son Joshua, who's 13, Ruby, who's 5, and Joya, who is 2. So it's been eventful. It's been a struggle. I've had to really forgive myself a lot. I probably, like you, Patience, as a female entrepreneur, can be sometimes very hard on ourselves, that we feel as if we're not getting enough done, or we, when something doesn't go quite as perfect to the plan that we've created, we can get quite hard on ourselves. And I had to throw into the mix about the fact that I was also a mother, and I couldn't keep charging ahead at 100 miles per hour. And this is actually what happened when I was doing the theatre schools, is I overworked myself so badly that when I had my 3rd child, Joya, I became very, very ill with postnatal depression. And actually it was an awful time. I speak about this quite a few times because I want to help women that are going through something like that to understand that or to realise even that there is a way out and you can get better. But being in that position is a really hard place to be. But that was because I was overworked. I was working something like 80 odd hours a week with 2 children and 1 just on the way, and then I went back to work after literally a week of having her. So you can see, that the kind of mindset of the entrepreneur part of Jen was getting very mixed up with the mother part of Jen as well. So I've worked very hard to try and combine the two and work more from a place of ease and happiness. And I do a lot of meditation now, which I never used to do before, which I've realised is so important when you're on this journey. I take time off. I take every weekend off now as well, every Saturday, Sunday, just to be with my kids and my husband. And I try to work within a set time during the day as well. Obviously, that sometimes spills over and things too. But I think the biggest kind of tip, if there is one, is to not be too hard on yourself when things don't go right, when maybe you have to cancel something because one of the kids are ill. I'm very lucky now to be working in a community of women who all really understand that I'm also a mum, and not that my teaching or anything falls by the wayside, not at all. But when there is an emergency, if there's something going on, maybe I can't work a certain time on a certain day, and I block it out the diary, they're also supportive, just as I am to every woman out there, whether they actually have kids or not, because we all go through something that is a struggle, don't we? It's at points. Or something that we have to balance out, let's say. For me, it's motherhood and entrepreneurship, but it could be anything. It could be, negative thoughts and being a business owner. It could be not feeling worthy and being a business owner. There's always some sort of balance to be found. And I believe the key for me was meditation and taking myself just out of the day, just for a small part, between 10 and 20 minutes, and getting aligned with my head and my heart, and just having a think about, okay, what do I want to achieve today? And just trying to send out some love and vibes out to the world as well, which I think it needs sometimes, doesn't it?
Wow. Because sometimes women think once they have children and they're like, oh, my life is over. I have to wait until they are 16, 15 to start my own business. And the second, we always like, once you start motherhood, it's like, well, you are always now at the end bottom. There is no way you can compete with the ones who don't have babies and then compete with the male. So I think you are there to prove that this can be done. But I don't know how you are doing it, but you are doing it. You are setting it as a big example.
Oh, that's incredible. I really appreciate you saying that. That makes me feel quite emotional because obviously, like I said, I did struggle with trying to find the balance. But the only thing I can say is it is a balance, and you have to forgive yourself for sometimes not being there present 100% with the children, but also not being there 100% with your business. There has to be the element of, you're trying your best. I truly believe that every person that I come in contact with is trying their version of their very best. And that's what I'm trying to do as well. And like I say, there's things that go wrong. There's emergencies that arise. And I just forgive myself for it and say, you know what? Today's today. It's not when I'm 100% like perfectly. Maybe one of the kids has had a bit of a meltdown or whatever. They've been a bit sad, and I just have to take the time and be with them 100%. And then I have to pick everything back up the next day. But I think it's having a good network of family and friends, or even whether that's just an online community that you can go in and say, I've had this kind of day. Can I get some motivation, inspiration, please? It's having that really changes things, and you can accomplish everything that you want when you become a mother. Not just being a wonderful mother, but also creating something incredible for them. The reason why I do everything that I do is for them. I don't ever use them as an excuse not to do things. I use them as an excuse to do things and to push myself to be the best person I can be, so that they can be, fingers crossed, inspired by me and want to create something for themselves as well.
Wow, you are an inspiration, you're an example. Well, I can't say anything more, because if any woman is out there thinking that, oh, I'm putting off motherhood because it's going to be too much work, I can't do it, apparently Jen is here to tell you, all of you ladies out there, that it can be done, apparently. But I don't know how she's really doing it. She's a superwoman. That's all I can say. Okay. Why is gratitude so important to you, Jane?
Gratitude is so important to me. I don't feel as if I would have anything that I have without gratitude in my life. I've been thankful for my failures. I've had more failures under my belt than I have successes. And when I practice gratitude, it almost makes every single one of those failures so worthwhile, because I understand that there has been a lesson in every single one of them, and it's allowed me to grow and move forward and to grow into who I hopefully will become, which is the best version of myself. I can't compete with anyone at all because I'm just me. So I always just want to compete with myself and try and get better. But yeah, gratitude is so important. I am also grateful for the people out there that, have said sometimes negative things, and which we all have had in our lives at some point, haven't we? We've had someone that said something that have maybe knocked us for a while. But I'm grateful for it all. I really, really am. I know that sounds crazy to say, but I am. I'm grateful for all the hardship, all the times I've had to feel any kind of loss or suffering, and it really is not only given me the motivation and opportunity to step into my own personal version of greatness, whatever that looks like, but it also enables me to really have incredible relationships with the women that I coach, because I can resonate with some of the things that they obviously have maybe went through in the past or are going through now. So I feel extremely grateful for having everything that's happened to me. I wouldn't change a thing.
Okay. Let's put your man aside, because now your company is making 6 to 7 figure despite all the challenges you went through. How did you know you were successful?
I think because I was able to work in my way. So I was able to set my times, set my hours. I was able to work from a space of not feeling scared or nervous about the future. I was able to bring have just recently brought some incredible team members on board as well to help me. I think that's it. I think the success was just an inner warmth of removing the worry that what if this doesn't work. that thought disappeared. And when that thought disappeared, it made me able to open my eyes a little bit more to what more can be possible in the future too. I think that's when I knew that, or my version of success had been achieved. However, there's so much more that I want to achieve.
You are still young. You will
yeah.
get it.
Yeah,
Okay. How do you stay organized with a busy family life and several businesses to run?
How do I stay organized? I've got quite good vision kind of mindset. So I normally can see all the things. I know that sounds quite weird, but I'm quite good at visualizing. And I can see all the things that need done in a day, but I've got a diary that I keep up to date online. It's connected to my phone as well. And I always put in my family time first. So for example, if I know that I need to do the school runs, well, for the entire month ahead, all that stuff goes in first. So my school runs, my date nights with my husband, if we get them, any events that I need to go to, all that gets put in first. And then the work goes around it. And I try to always as well, I think this is a good tip, I try to always take one day a week where I'm only working on my business. So I'm looking at ways of improving my business. I'm looking at, the stats of what's been happening. I'm looking at ways to grow. I'm sorting out any kind of website issues that I have. And then maybe also doing a little bit of client work that I need to do. And then the rest of the week will be for actually coaching and doing exciting things like this with you. That's how I kind of set up my plan. But like I said, sometimes that plan does not work out. And I have to go back into the drawing board and take things forward. But I just believe that that small time that I talked about meditation before, that small, the small few moments of having brain space, if you like, puts everything very clear for the rest of the day going forward of all the things that's in your diary that you need to achieve. And I just work through them as fast as I can. But I want things to look good, so I take my time as well, as fast as I can, but also not rushing, if that makes sense. It kind of makes sense, but kind of doesn't.
It will do for women. Not for men who will be listening. Okay, you mentioned that you have mentors and coaches for your business. What is the most valuable thing your mentor has told you?
My mentor at the moment came up with a really good saying. She said, you need to nail it and then scale it. And I thought that is so cool. That's so true. So nail whatever the part of your business is that you want to get really right. And then once that starts to fall into place and when that starts to become successful in its own right, then you look at ways that you can branch out with that. Look at ways that you can make it even more successful. Look at ways that you can scale that to a bigger audience, for example, too. So I think that was a really good little piece of advice. And something else that my uncle told me is that if you find something that you love, then you'll never work a day in your life. I know that's an old saying, but I really believe that that's the complete truth. I was always kind of trying to figure out what my road was and what my niche was and who I could help and support. And I definitely have found that for me personally, at this moment in time, it's definitely women and empowering women to step into their own version of abundance and greatness and wealth and love.
Okay, what tools could women use now to take their business to the next level?
Oh, well, digital marketing is huge. I would say if your business isn't online already, then that you have to be here. If you can think about the reach of the internet, it's incredible. I'm able to have conversations with women all over the world. Just sitting here in my little place in Bridge of Allen, in the kind of Scottish countryside, I'm able to speak to people in the States, in Australia, all over the world, and it's so exciting. It's an opportunity that we obviously didn't have before. What else tools would I say? I would say it's not a tool as such, but one thing that I've learned is that if you can add as much value as you possibly can to someone for free, then it builds up a lovely level of trust. Because if you are giving out as much as you possibly can for free, then people think, well, if that's the free stuff, then I wonder what it's actually like working with her in one of her programs. Or if that was a less priced, for example, product, if you have products, then I wonder what it's like to invest in one of the more expensive products from that person because they've had such a great experience with any free value you've put out there or any of the kind of lower end value that you put out. So I think that is it. I always lead with, in my community groups and everywhere I am, with value, 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 giving people information, tips, hacks, tricks that I have, sharing my journey and sharing my failures as well as any success as well. I think that's a key point, no matter where your business is and what kind of business you have. If you have the ability to do that, then you'll get your business out there.
Do you think there are other tools that women are not really using in their businesses today?
I think we could use social media a lot better. There's so many incredible platforms, LinkedIn, Sharper, which is the newest one that I've decided to go on to. You have got, your Facebook, Instagram, all of it. I think that when you're on all these platforms, there are ways to monetize it all. And I would suggest to anyone out there who has any of those kind of accounts to look into, for example, blogging, affiliate marketing, things like that, because there is ways to monetize everything that you put out into the world, if that is what you're looking for. And if you're looking for leads and lead generation and growth, I love lead pages. That's something that I use to gather in any people that would like to work with me that I don't have the opportunity to just go out and speak to. I sometimes run Facebook ads as well. That's an incredible platform when used properly, and you can keep your spend quite low by really targeting the exact kind of person and the exact perfect client and customer that you want. By doing that, you can keep your ad spend low but reach a great size of audience. So I would say those are just some of the tools that I have used to scale what I do at the moment.
Wow. Why do you think women are always behind? Why are they not in the front? Do you think they get distracted? What is happening?
I believe that we are just like a second behind. We are coming up. Women are on the rise of the Renaissance women. But I believe that it's actually to do with, in my own personal experience, conditioning, social conditioning. We are conditioned to believe, and it's still out there, that when you're a mum, you're a mum. Or if you're a career woman, you're a career woman. And that those two things cannot ever collide. And they do, and they can. And you can become extremely successful with both, is definitely the message that I want to share today. Yeah, I think it's that. I think it's the social conditioning. And it's quite sad that it's still out there, but it's definitely happening. That whole old-fashioned version or the old-fashioned portrait of a woman, in the kitchen with her children around her, with the ironing board out, it's gone. It's gone, It has to be smashed through. And it's exciting that even we are having this discussion today, and hopefully we're able to inspire just a few women who have been thinking, I want to start something. I want something for myself. I know that I'm capable of more. Please, please, please do it. Just do it. And no one is going to ever blame you for trying. But I bet you any money as you get older that you will blame yourself and have some sort of regret that you didn't try the thing that is deep in your heart to want to try.
I know there are successful women out there, but I just wanted to make sure that all women out there, all the young girls who are growing up, who will be listening to this podcast, don't think you have always to stay behind. You can always go in the front. It's not always the boys and the men in the front. So you can do it as well. What the man can do, you can always also achieve it. Despite you have babies, you have to find a way how to work around it.
Yeah.
What is the biggest challenges you see women entrepreneurs facing right now?
The biggest challenges, I would say, I've actually had to work quite closely with a few women, and this has been a challenge for them, and it's been not taken seriously in their chosen career. Again, because it's maybe a male-dominated industry, and that is a challenge in itself. Is putting yourself out there as the expert and saying, do you know what, I deserve to stand in exactly the same place as you, and my skill set, my talents and my abilities are exactly the same as you. Never mind the fact that, yes, you may have children at home. It does not mean that you're job is not your focus when you're at that job. So I think that is definitely, just as we spoke about before, it's definitely a sticking point. The confidence is another huge one. I speak to women every day, and we discuss, all the possibilities of maybe having an online business, for example. And they say, oh, well, I couldn't do that. I couldn't start my own podcast, or I couldn't start my own business because although, for example, I'm a designer, I'm not that good. And the confidence thing is still something that really holds us back. Do you feel that as well sometimes?
So how can we really smash that through? How can we start getting a little bit, at least we are going to start from 0 to working our way to 10. So how do we start being confident then?
How would we start being confident? That is a really hard question because everyone has a different, obviously a different level of where that confidence would begin at. Some are 3, some are 7. I would say the first thing that you would have to do though is to surround yourself with people who inspire you or who are positive. Those 2 things, either inspire you or who are positive. And then the second thing really is forgiving yourself for anything that's gone before. So all the times that you've went, I've not been great at that, or I've failed at this, or all those little negative egotistical thoughts that run through your head about all the reasons why you can't do something. You have to get them smashed out of the way. And how like I said right at the beginning, how I would do that is through meditation. But you can find so many fantastic books as well online that can really help with that too, and with letting go of things that have happened in the past. And then the third thing is I would write down a plan. I'd write down a plan where, and in that plan, it would have to have at least 20 things that you love about yourself. And it will be a struggle to find 20 things. I am aware of that. I've tried to do this before as well and kind of only got to like maybe 7 or 8, and some people don't even get to 7 or 8, but start to build on that and have it somewhere that you can see every single day and start to build on it until you get up to those 20 things. And you can look at that and go, do you know what? Everything that I need to become the success that I want to be is there. It is all written up on that wall, and all of that stuff is inside of me. And that, I believe, will be the instigator of beginning to build some of your confidence back up. That's just 3 tips that I can come up with right now that I would definitely do to start off with.
Wow. Okay. Tell us more about your business strategist for women, or where can we find you if we are women in London, in Africa, everywhere? Where can we find you?
Well, first of all, That's My Crown is the free platform where women can go and be involved with other women's businesses, obviously, but they can also promote their own business, whatever that is, and maybe come up with some ideas. But my little closed group on Facebook, it's a Facebook group and it's called The Unstoppable Mastermind, and you'll see a picture of me, and I am ginger, so you can't miss me. Got my red hair, and my name is Jennifer Hardie as well, for anyone that wants to follow me or get to know me. And please add me as a friend if you wish as well. I love meeting new people and hearing their stories and connecting with people. Obviously, I'm also online at www.jenniferhardie.me, so you could find me there if you wish to, and jen.hardie on Instagram. But I am open arms if anyone even would just like to chat a little bit about what I do, or want to find out more about me, or how I can promote you on any of the platforms I have, obviously for free. I am a supporter of women. I want to promote as much as I possibly can. That's My Crown, actually. We're building that up to become a global scholarship fund for any woman who wants to start their business but maybe doesn't have the finances, or for women who want to take their business to the next level. Maybe they want to hire a coach, for example. Or maybe it's just a woman who wants to go for an incredible interview and they want to buy a suit. It doesn't have to be, anything huge, but we're going to have a fund there available going forward that women can tap into, which we are setting up, hopefully to be launched by the end of this year or at the beginning of next. But please connect and get involved.
Wow. Okay. So, Clan, there will be more from Jennifer in a moment. If you are finding Jennifer's inspiration and lighting on women's is very interesting to you, come and listen to the full version of the interview at onlinesuccessjourney.com. If you are on online journey already, click on part 2 on Jen's journey and you'll get more tips and more inspiration and lightning for you as a woman to start and be confident and also move forward. That's a wrap, clan. Remember, success is a journey. Patience and Jennifer.
This is not the end of the journey. We hope you've enjoyed listening to part 1 and want to be sure you know there is a second part to this and every journey podcast at onlinesuccessjourney.com, filled with even more success tips, uplifting stories, and even a bit of fun. There are dozens of episodes only available to the members of the Online Success Journey clan. Check out the website and click on Join the Clan for more information. Patience would like to thank you for listening to this podcast, and she has a free audio gift for you at her website. Go to onlinesuccessjourney.com for instant access to this gift. Of course, you know that listening to the journeys of others helps each of us chart our own path. So make sure you're subscribed to be notified as each new interview is posted. There are so many ways to stay connected to the Online Success Journey and to listen in. And if you're enjoying the podcast, we appreciate your help in telling others. One of the best ways to share the benefit you get is to rate and review it at Stitcher and other sites by clicking the stars or completing the ratings form, by clicking thumbs up and leaving a comment on YouTube, or liking and sharing the podcast on social media. To review the podcast within iTunes, simply open iTunes to the podcast, click on Ratings and Reviews, then write a review. On behalf of Patience, and until next time, thanks once more for listening. It is our hope that this podcast will guide you on your own online success journey.